Ooh, upcoming. You get to prompt. That's awesome.
Okay, the buttons have been pressed.
I'm close to tell you, I don't want to see y'all. I don't want y'all to see me jack it off.
Well, yeah.
Too
Put a
late.
little towel over that shit, boy.
Man,
We're ready to do this live.
Jesus Christ.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Red Eye Report. I don't even have time because this topic is such a clusterfuck. That
So you didn't do an intro?
Nope. I knew that this is I'm long-winded enough that you guys aren't worthy for an intro in this one.
Wait, worthy?
Except for Mystic. I love it.
It's your fault and we're not worthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Like this is our fault.
Yes.
Holy shit, bro.
But I did make sure to reach out and email the Dane County Humane Society to find out our weekly Pause for the Cause pet.
But we get a fucking animal. The animal's worthy, but we're not.
Yep. This week's pet is Twizzle Tits, the tongue-twisted tapir. She likes alliteration so much, she's always tongue-tied.
A tapir. What the fuck is a tapir again? Is that like an
T-A-P-I-R? It's a little animal with
like an
snout
anteater kind of.
Oh, yeah.
The only reason I know is because you had to kill a bunch of them on a Far Cry to make a holster.
Okay.
Damn right.
That's education right
catch
there.
Those tapir.
Edutainment.
Tapir pelts.
Make some holsters, man. Y'all make some good fucking holsters.
Mm-hmm. Daddy knows.
Yeah, I do.
All right. On this week, we're going to talk about the Zizians. The Zizian death cult, as the media is calling them.
Sounds like some slang a 14-year-old's using. That's Zizian right there.
They are essentially a fringe cult of rationalist, vegan, transgender, neurodivergent AI doomers.
Wow.
What? Wait,
what a combination.
I told you this is going to be a good story.
Yeah, you fucking millennials. Goddamn
so,
that's the gayest thing you've ever said.
Yep. The only reason I know, or anyone in general knows about these people is, do you remember? It was literally January of this year. The story about a border patrol agent who was shot near the Canadian border.
Oh yeah,
by two people. And it was kind of vague initially, but of course, when a border patrol agent is killed, it makes the news. So that is, I then stumbled across this hour-long article about the Zizians, and then realized, this is the backstory of that border patrol agent being killed. So the Zizians, their beliefs, even though they themselves don't claim to be a cult, they don't even really have a full concise, they don't have a Bible or ethos, or these are our specific beliefs.
Is this like the United States cult, or is it a different country?
U.S. cult.
Okay.
I guess you would say formed out in San Francisco, Silicon Valley area. And but to boil it down, I would say their beliefs are they're anarchists who emphasize the animal, focusing on animal rights, veganism, and their belief is that the two hemispheres of the brain can have different genders and conflicting interests that you could, and basically similar to last week's story about fucking listening to.
Well, I think that's a little different.
The same, but in the sense that you think you can do shit with your brain.
Okay.
They did these meditation type things where they believe they
just making shit up that they can do shit with their brain. That was science. Oracle.
You're right. But they believe that you could like turn one hemisphere, and of course this goes back to that dumb idea that we all thought, like, oh yeah, the one side of the brain does this and the other does that.
Right.
And so they believe one hemisphere can have one gender, one can have another, one can have good, one can have evil. And it was like, oh, we're gonna switch between our hemispheres of our brain.
Wow.
Fucking dumbass vegans.
Dude, we're fucking we're 7 minutes into this. This is fantastic.
The group is based around Jack Ziz Loto. They went by Ziz Loto. Ziz is transgender. They're the unofficial leader of the Zizians. At least that's where the name comes from. And actually, they themselves never called themselves Zizians. It's actually people within people who knew them before all this shit blew up. Like one of their, like intellectual nemesis labeled them as Zizians.
Is this a girl guy or a guy to a girl?
Guy to a girl. Most of these members are, so they're not all transgender, but most of them are transgender, and pretty much all of them are neurodivergent, and they're probably all vegans if you want to actually be a part of it.
I've heard that term neurodivergent.
Neurodivergent is a term, it's a politically correct term right now that people use where it's just like, oh, like if I'm a little bit on the autistic spectrum, like on my dating profile, I would say I'm neurodivergent.
I'm kind of tired. Can you sleep with me?
Yeah.
So they're slightly retarded trans kids, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, and I wouldn't even say necessarily retarded, but more on that neurodivergent spectrum where they're like Asperger's geniuses, and
Border Patrol killers.
Also, they're very like they're socially inept, like uber nerds. So anyways, this story comes to our attention from the killing, like I was telling you about, where the Border Patrol agent, this was in January 20th of this year, in Vermont, in the town of Coventry. It's near the Canadian border. 44-year-old David Maland. If you go down, so like at the lower, below all the members, I have a victim section because it was like to help keep track of.
Thanks. That makes a lot of fucking sense. Okay.
In memoriam.
Okay,
all right.
So you said,
what?
Where are they based out of?
So they're originally based out of San Francisco, Silicon Valley area. Like these people all kind of got together because they were a bunch of tech nerds who moved out there trying to get into Silicon Valley, and they actually all met through the rationalist movement. And do you remember the effective altruism movement we talked about? I believe when I did the episode on
was that the
FTX?
FTX did
Sam Bankman-Fried?
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, I mean that movement in itself is just like, let's as a bunch of nerds think rationally of the most effective way to try to help the most people.
But it was a huge fraud, though.
Well, no, FTX was the fraud. The effective altruism movement, even though yes, it is jeered because it has people like Sam Bankman-Fried and stuff associated with it, and now fucking
right,
Ziz Loto.
Not a good track record.
Yeah,
exactly.
So do you have to be trans to be part of this cult, or do you
that's the thing.
Not trans, and
yeah,
trans.
They don't have real like, and that's the thing. They themselves probably wouldn't even claim to be a cult. The Ziz does not claim to be the leader. But Ziz is the manipulative, like, center hold of this group of people.
So hold on. So this is like, if you're a hipster, you can't admit that you're a hipster, right?
Probably.
Ziz can't admit that he's the leader.
And
we're all.
It's like to be. The thing is like this term. Even though the thing is like all these stories. Like once this. So like I was saying, this killing of the Border Patrol agent. unraveled this thread where everybody like realized, oh my God, there's these other murders and all these other people who are like tied to this incident. That original incident was, let me just like quick wrap up the details. Was that it was on January 20th, 2025. It was a fucking blue Toyota Prius that got pulled over by that Border Patrol agent. And he only pulled it over because hotel staff the day prior were like, hey, we got some fucking weirdos here staying in a room that are dressed in all black tactical gear. And they're like walking around with what looks like, rifles. In and out of their vehicle and whatnot. Like they haven't caused a scene here yet, but keep an eye on them. So that car pops up on his radar, driving towards the Canadian border. He pulls him over. He calls for backup because he knows the story that they were armed. Backup arrives, and then they finally start to approach the vehicle, and these two trans women get out. Start blasting away.
So anyway, I just started blasting.
Yeah. So they started blasting. Milo Youngblood.
Okay, so this is back
Ophelia.
up.
Yeah, if you go down, back up into the members, there's Milo Youngblood and Ophelia Buckholt.
Okay, so this is Ophelia.
And so Ophelia, Milo was injured in the shootout. Ophelia died, was killed by the agents in returning fire. But David Milan, the border agent, he, within like 45 minutes, they rushed him to the hospital and he died.
What the fuck were they doing? Like, were they trying to get into Canada and shoot shit up or what?
That's what they... Well, no, they think that they were... Because the thing is, like, they've all been... This group has been on the run since these previous stories that were then uncovered after this incident. So Ophelia was a quantitative trader in New York City a couple of years prior, but quit her job and then lost her German work visa because of that. And meanwhile, like as their investigators are uncovering this, the Milo Youngblood was who was arrested and injured in the shootout. Her fiance Max Snyder was back in California. This is in Vermont where this happened. Her fiance is back in California, but he just days prior was arrested for murder. So then everyone's like, how the fuck did this all start? So
are their hormones off because they're trans?
Ziz Loto, yeah. Are their hormones off? Probably. I think, don't your hormones have to be off to be trans?
Years.
So Liz Loto, who at the time in 2025 is 34, they grew up in Alaska. Their father was a computer scientist. They got a bachelor's in computer science. They actually were caught in high school hacking into the high school payroll system, and they were giving raises to teachers they like, and they were reducing the pay of teachers they didn't.
That's pretty good. That's a good one.
Yeah. So they got a bachelor's in computer science in 2013. They interned at NASA. They tried to do a master's in Illinois around 2013, 2014, but they dropped out, didn't graduate. Around 2017 is when they moved to San Francisco Bay Area because they wanted to get involved in the effective altruism, rationality movements, and what's it? Oh, also a lot of these people were the same people who are like, AI's gonna fucking ruin the world. Like, we really got to sit down and think to like solve this problem. How are we going to deal with AI before it actually becomes a problem? And they started, multiple of these fucking hooligan cast members have their own blogs, of course. Ziz started one called Sinceriously, and which they espoused about it. Basically, it was like, everyone who's reported on it has said that it sounds like gibberish unless you are that kind of a nerd, because it references a lot of sci-fi, and it's all a bunch of graphs and statistics and shit. They're like nerd philosophers who don't know how to write. And so,
but philosophers, like, are they? So they're worried about AI, and they have like these fucking like they're trans or whatever. Like, what the fuck is their philosophy? Like, what are they?
that's the thing. The problem with this, and also because they're called the Zizian death cult. The thing is, though, they themselves never had like, they don't have a manual. They don't have a real structured ethos. It's just kind of like all these other people who started following her were reading her blog, which is just a bunch of nerd gibberish.
Could this be that they're just retarded?
Yeah, just following her.
To a certain perspective,
I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know.
So you call them the Zizian death cult. Is it because they're going around killing people? Is that what's going on?
Well,
here?
because there's a lot of murders tied to them. That's the thing too. That's why I keep pounding that home, is that they themselves like consider themselves a cult. They're rationalists. But the thing is, like, so were the Nazis.
Don't sound very rational.
Like you can use rationality to like justify horrible shit.
But to what end, I guess, are they killing the people?
Right.
Like, what are they trying to do?
Their goal? Yeah.
Well, the thing is, the death of each of these people, the rationality is completely different for each one. It's not like we're killing these people for a significant end goal. They themselves, like, the thing is, these murders started happening really once they started, like, they found themselves in legal trouble. So
like a weird French film.
Ziz. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if this actually turns into a fucking mini series. Right. Because there's like so many of these like weird Yahoo goons, and it's got a lot of like twisted logic to it. So basically, she's living out in Silicon Valley, right? She's trying to break it out into the tech industry there, not getting anywhere. And of course, blaming everything on like, well, you're against trans people because you didn't hire me, kind of shit. And out there, they have what they call rat houses, which because it's like the gold rush of nerds out there. But these like nerds who don't get a good tech job can't afford to live, so they'll live 4 or 5 people to a room, or a small 1-bedroom apartment, and like split the rent to be able to afford to live out there because they haven't really gotten any good jobs yet. But at the same time, think about it, you're compounding. It's like it's a heaven and a hell for them because it's like all these like-minded people, but you're also all neurodivergent and you have like weird personal problems. Like one of them might be a hoarder. One of them might talk to themselves all day.
Sounds like fucking hell.
Yes, there's actually been reports.
Like I would murder every single
right, that's where the murders would be happening.
There have been reports too, like, or at least where some journalists and stuff in the area have written like about why do all these why is there like a high propensity for these effective altruists to go crazy? Like they have some sort of weird snap that makes the news or whatever. Anyways, so rent was getting too much. So Ziz meets Gwen Danielson, as you'll see in the mugshot there, one with a bunch of weird fucking third eye face paint.
Yeah, that's totally normal.
And
it's what's supposed to happen. Or
Gwen Danielson was like, "Hey, you know what? I live on a boat. Like, it's like, what's cheap is I rent a sail. Like I own my own sailboat, and I just basically pay to moor it up at the dock, and I sleep on that. So they invite Ziz over, and Ziz roommated in a boat, lived in a boat with Gwen for a brief period till she got sick of Gwen because Gwen was talking to herself all the time. So she bought her own sailboat and moored up in the same marina.
That fucking and
they had then this like, we're gonna they were starting to get ostracized from the actual like rest of the nerds in the area in the rationalist community.
On retards, you mean?
Or less divergent
large.
in the neurospectrum retards. They so
Using these words, I just don't think they're right.
they decide. I know. That's the thing too. Is like the people who've reported on this will say when you read her blogs, it's like it's just a bunch of jargon that makes no sense. Some reporter compiled a vocabulary Word document to like because there's thousands of pages that have gone through to dissect
Thousands of pages, Jesus.
of her blog and shit. The vocabulary document was 77 pages, is a Word document, 77 pages long.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm
This is
sure,
how
I'm
people
sure
are
these
trying to-
people are all super employable. They just didn't,
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
they just didn't tweak
wonder
their
why
resume.
nobody hires me.
So
Yeah.
have a
Ziz
face
decides
all
like
over.
let's start a rationalist fleet. Like we're gonna make a big boat that's gonna be a central hostel, and we'll have other people with their boats, and we're just gonna go around the fucking ocean like pirates, rational pirates.
Rational
And-
pirates.
They bought a tugboat from someone in Alaska. They flew up to
tugboat.
Alaska, and they managed to raise the money and get like 5 or 6 people. Even though one person was like, "This Ziz person is so fucking nuts." They like at an early port dock, they just fucking got off the boat and flew home. But they drove this tugboat all the way from Alaska down to San Francisco. And they tried to make it like their hostel on this tugboat. They called it the Caleb. And it was World War II era. World War II era.
What?
And it was leaking. And the US Coast Guard even, it's like you can't condemn, like there's whoever the inspector general or whoever comes to condemn your house or whatever, like that doesn't work with boats. But like the US Coast Guard was like, they listed it as a basically a severe threat to the public health.
Wow.
So they were because they got this tugboat, the reason was they were getting like shunned by the arching rationalist community. There is CFAR, which is Center for Applied Rationality, and MIRI, which is Machine Intelligence Research Institute. MIRI is like one of those group institutes that's trying to do, it's like a think tank about how we're going to deal with AI. In 2019, they were having a retreat up in the Northern California woods, in Westminster Woods. And because the rest of that community were like, you guys are fucking crazy, and basically denied them to access to come to this retreat, they decide we're gonna protest this retreat and we're gonna block them coming out. So they show up, they're fucking late. They couldn't even show up on time to stop them getting to the retreat. So they decide, well, we're gonna block anyone from coming out because there's like only 2 roads out of this fucking cabin resort in the woods where this rationalist retreat was going on. They dressed in Sith Lord black robes, and they like parked their vehicles over the bridges.
That quote would have got me dressing like that. I would have been like, hey, what y'all doing?
Yeah. So they blocked it. Someone falsely reported that they were armed. Although after all these stories, it wouldn't surprise me if they were armed. Although I guess the police report said they weren't armed. Anyways, SWAT team showed up, fucking arrested them. And they're right away like, police force is anti-trans. And they got arrested. And so they're pending prosecution for blocking this fucking retreat. And they also kept firing their lawyers because they would only be allowed legal representation by vegan lawyers.
For real?
For real. This is why, like, how
That's
much
not how
like
any of this works, sweetheart.
I know. This is how fucked like this is how much like to the extreme they took their rationality. So because the Caleb was leaking oil and everything was like slowly sinking, they just abandoned that and they started buying slackmobiles. Basically, they buy semi trucks with trailers. They convert the trailers in the back into living quarters, and then they would cut like escape hatches in the bottom. So like instead of like going in and out of the back doors all the time, they would just like sneak out of the bottom. But they were parked out in the parking lot for the marina, and people started noticing that. But that's when they met Curtis Lynn, and he was he lived on a boat there too, and he was selling his own boat, and he's like, hey, I got this piece of property, you want to come up here and rent, basically like you can bring these slackmobiles. It's like a low budget trailer park. It's not even a real trailer park. If you go down to Chris Lind,
Yep, I got old guy
old guy, yeah,
who looks
that
like he's
poor
just
bastard.
ripe for getting stabbed by a bunch of fucking crazies.
Yes. So he invited them out, and they all moved their trailers up there. Basically, it's cheap rent. You get access to electricity, but there's no like real plumbing, like unless you got your own RV or something.
Well, they got a
and-
hole at the bottom of their fucking trailers. They can just take a shit out the hole.
Which sounds like that's what they were doing in the marina, anyways. So they all move up there, but they're starting to run into money trouble because all the charges for blocking this rationalist retreat.
Yeah, how did they generate money? Period. I mean,
Well, I think some of them had like a lot of them did come from well-off parents, but so like some of them kind of mooch here and there from parents, but they were starting to run out of money. And so also right at around the same time was when COVID hit, and California says landlords can't evict anyone because everyone's lost their jobs, So the Zizians are like, well, fuck, he can't evict us. Why even bother paying rent? So fucking old man Christopher Lind was not getting paid rent, and they started basically walking around with big fucking knives and shit whenever you come to talk to them about paying rent. He was getting nervous, so he buys a gun. Meanwhile, all of a sudden, Ziz Loto, the leader, dead. On August 19th, 2022, Ziz was in a sailing accident, fell off their boat, and they called her friends called the Coast Guard. She fell overboard. We can't find her. She never came up. Coast Guard spent an hour searching for the body, could not find her. She was presumed dead. There was even an obituary in the Alaskan newspaper from her hometown. She's presumed dead. Gwen Danielson, the fucking weird third eye face paint person, they tried faking their own death as well. So by this time, there's 20 plus members of this group of Zizians living on this low rent trailer park lot. And they're, according to neighbors, because there's other weirdos and low rent people who are living in this lot too, but they're not associated. But they're like, these people are walking around naked with just gas mask on, and they're carrying weapons.
Fucking San Francisco, man. Like,
Yes.
what the fuck?
Yeah, this lot was in Vallejo.
Vallejo.
So they're like jangling the locals, and in November 2022, they called the landlord, Curtis Lynn, like, hey, can you fix this water leak? And so he's like, all right. And literally, he's bending down to look at this pipe, and they fucking clonked him on the head and started stomping him, and they started stabbing him with a katana.
What?
I shit you not. He got stabbed with a katana.
If
He
they're
got
naked
stabbed
with
in.
gas masks, where are they hiding the katana?
Oh, in their trailers, probably. Like, they're just a bunch of weird Sith Lord weirdos. This is what veganism will do to you. I mean, trans is not a problem, but veganism. So he got stabbed in the fucking eyeball with the katana blade, stabbed through the chest, all the way through the chest. And like after getting stabbed through the chest, where they stabbed him so hard the blade gets stuck through his chest, and he managed to still he had that firearm he bought because he was getting so afraid of these guys in his pocket. He pulled it out, bam, 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 starts blasting, and he shot two of these members. It was you'll bring up that perp membership. It was Amir, Emma Borhanian, and Alexander Somni Leatham. He killed Emma Borhanian and injured Somni Leatham. He spent a month in the hospital. He had to like drag his ass after shooting him away, drag his ass to a neighbor. And the neighbor on the news was like, he comes walking up, knocking on my door, woke me up, and he's got a katana sticking through his chest.
Jesus Christ.
And he's like, I'm dying. Please, call the ambulance. They had to med flight him. He spent a month in the hospital, lost his eye. He had 50 puncture wounds.
This
plus
dude
that katana.
Survived that?
He survived this.
Oh my God.
He survived this attack. And they arrested the Zizians, two Zizians besides the one who was murdered. And then they charged the two they arrested with the murder of the other Zizian, because the prosecutor's like, listen, if you motherfuckers wouldn't have jumped him with a katana, he wouldn't have pulled his gun out and killed the other one.
Yeah.
So after this incident, the Zizian camp on the shitty trailer park disbanded, but they still were in contact online. Fast forward because this was in November. Fast forward to December 31st, New Year's Eve, 2022. Richard and Rita Zashko in Chester Heights, Pennsylvania. They, in the middle of the night, 11:30 p.m., let two people in. This is based on kind of like some security cameras from a neighbor, and then some reports that they heard some screaming, and some flickering of lights, and then 2 days later, they were found dead, shot in the head in their bedroom. Michelle Jacqueline Zashko is their trans daughter, who happened to have bought a handgun similar to the caliber that killed her parents. And so the police are, trying to track down all the leads. So they're like, well, where is this daughter? And then they see, the daughter's bought this handgun that's, same caliber. They managed to track her down, hold up into a hotel room. And who's with her? Fucking Ziz Loto, who died.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. And so if you go back up to the top of the list, they found, because of course, once the police came in, they found Ziz Loto. Basically, reactionless. They just laid and pretended to be dead on the floor. This is how fucking stupid they are.
Nobody checked for a pulse. What the
See
fuck?
that photo there?
Yeah.
See that photo with the rubber glove on her chin?
Yep.
That's because through the entire process, that they would not respond or react with officers. They had to drag her out, took her into booking, and they had to physically hold her up for the mugshot. She just stayed I'm not here.
Nobody checked a pulse or
I
anything.
wonder why
they knew they were alive. What's that?
Why couldn't they get a job?
Yeah. I mean, what's the big
right?
deal? Come on.
It's so it's so sad. So so basically, then after they managed to post bail Ziz, they fucking ran off again, evaded bail. Fast forward to January 17th of this year, 2025. This is before the border agents even killed, mind you. Curtis Lynn, that landlord, he was set to testify against those two that he shot during his case. All of a sudden, Max Snyder, this dork, who was the fiance of Milo Youngblood, which I said earlier, where it's like, oh, her fiance was back in California in prison. He basically lingered outside of Curtis Lynn's house, dressed in all black,
Is
waiting until Curtis Lynn finally noticed, and he comes out and he's like, you can't be here. You know, he's got like a restraining order or whatever against all these fuckers. He's like, you're not allowed to be here. You can't be here. Curtis Lynn pulls out a fucking knife and starts just stabbing the motherfucker.
Again?
And then slit again. Second attack. Slits his throat this time to make sure.
Yeah.
And
Jesus.
kills Curtis Lynn.
Fucking A.
Man, this guy's just trying to be nice and shit.
Right.
Give him a place.
I
They're
know.
shitty
He's just like a nice, like
motherfuckers.
hippie dude who wants like to get cheap
Oh,
rent
man.
for people who are artists and whatnot.
That's insane, dude. What
The guy who found him, with the katana in his chest, he was like one of the old G's who lived there for a while. So he's like, I've known him for 15 years, and he'll give you the shirt off his back. But I've told him, like, you get your ass taken advantage of.
Right. Yeah.
And so that guy is in jail. Max Snyder. Michelle Zajko, who is the daughter who they believe may or somehow involved. She was the one who was found in the hotel. I don't know if they've pinned yet, got enough evidence to show whether she killed her parents, but it seems like they're involved. So they were all on the run again, and then actually it was Ziz, Michelle Zajko, and this Daniel Blank, this googly-eyed bastard, who I don't believe has killed anyone, but he basically is an accomplice at this point. They were actually just in February, after the story kind of made a big splash after the border agent was killed. In February, they actually were apprehended and arrested. They were all in a white van. Some guy who's got like, thousands of acres of wild land found this white van on his property. Or I think actually he reported, or they asked if they could camp on his land. He's like, no, you can't camp on my land. But they did anyways. And it's like, he found their van on the land. He's like, fuck these fuckers, and reported them to the police. And it turned out to be these guys. So they are now reapprehended because, mind you, Ziz, the leader, has basically bail jumped both times being arrested. The two who initially attacked and stabbed the poor old landlord, both of them who were arrested had tried multiple times to escape from prison. Didn't succeed. And so now it should be all, at least, except for, I don't know if Michelle, well, yeah, Michelle, I think, is because she was arrested at that hotel. I'm hoping she's still under custody. Whether or not they've pinned it on her parents, because this is still kind of like ongoing. But this is where the story is so far for the Zizian death cult.
Jesus. I am never going to goddamn San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Fuck that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like, gee. My God. What a fucking dumpster fire of humanity.
Well, and yeah, think of all the actual, people who are super smart, but they're neurodivergent. And so they're so neurodivergent they can't actually keep a job, like Mystic said, and they gotta like cram themselves into a rat house.
I think
Like,
the government needs to take them and make them work on math problems all day long or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Problem
Right.
is though, these people are also chasing that dream. Like they want to be the next fucking Zuckerberg or whatever,
Well, okay.
like that's why they went to
What
Silicon
a
Valley in
thought.
the first place. Anyways, sorry for our neurodivergent trans vegan listeners if this has triggered you.
Fuck you.
All right.
I'm
Moving
sorry,
along.
Ash.
To our What's Sexy section. First up, we got Oracle. Tomb Raider Remastered again?
Tomb Raider Remastered.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Yeah. So this was in the Humble Bundle for this month, and Tomb Raider 1 through 3 remastered. I just played a little bit of it, but man, that nostalgia, going straight back to 97 or whatever, the
Have they
original Tomb Raider.
changed
Mhm.
the tank controls?
No, so it actually defaults to tank controls. It does have modern controls as well.
Oh, okay. Yes.
But it's awesome. It has like the button that you press where you can fucking turn the modern graphics on or off.
Yeah, just like
Oh,
Halo.
really?
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
great because you
Yeah.
know, you go back, it's like, wow, this is what it looked like. I think when I was playing it on computer, I might have been playing it on like DOS or something, like back in the day. And it's just such a product of its time. It's
Oh,
fucking
God, I
great.
forgot about how you get them in the big boxes in the PC games.
Yeah, really good shit. It's available on all the systems. It is on Humble Bundle for PC for this month.
Now, let me ask: do you play when it comes to that graphic button of switching?
Mhm.
Do you play more with the remastered or with the old, or you just switch
Definitely-
back to the old just to
Definitely
see?
with the remaster, but there are some times where I'm like, man, I wonder what this looked like in the old graphics. It looks like dog shit, but you know,
So
Look at
okay,
that
so-
dog shit, man! It
Right.
made me
So
feel so
Halo-
awesome.
So the Halo games have the same thing, and there are times with the new graphics, just like you, I stayed in the new graphics, but
Mm,
I'm like, I don't know where to go, so I'd switch back to the old graphics. I'm like, I gotta go over here, and then switch
mm,
back to the graphics.
yeah,
Because I was so used to
Ah.
playing the stages over and over and over again, and playing
Right.
them so much that with the new graphics, I had nowhere. I was like, where do I go next? Shit.
yeah. Like the first one, it's so like when you jump to go up on a ledge or something, you're just like jumping straight up. Like it isn't
Yeah,
like a
right.
fluid fucking thing in like modern games. But this was like the one of the first one of those. And
Yeah.
it's pretty fucking impressive to see what they were doing back at that time and like how far ahead they actually were. Yeah, pretty cool. If you're into that kind of thing, check
Right
it out.
on, old triangle tits, Laura
Yeah,
Croft.
triangle tits.
With triangle tits, there is no code to
I
make it.
say now, when you switch between the remastered and the original, does the actual I guess have they remastered the 3D figures of her a little bit?
Oh yeah,
or-
she's got curves now. She isn't.
So when you
just
go
like-
back to original graphics, does it go straight back to triangles?
Yeah. Oh yeah, the original
Cool.
graphics are fucking original graphics. Yeah.
Like the butler looked like such a weird old like.
Yeah,
A
they're like
control
all
combustion.
fucking like stiff and weird, and like
Yeah,
the
he was
video
like
cut
24
scenes.
polygons.
Yeah, the cut scenes are just like fucking ridiculous. Like they look like remember that old show Reboot, like the cartoon?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
cartoon,
like
yeah.
that kind of shit. It's like wow, but back in the day, you saw that you're playing on a PlayStation, you're like, man, this is fucking awesome. Like this is so
He's got
realistic.
polygon titties.
Oh man, the things we used to get nutted over. All right, moving along, Mystic. Formula, fuck you.
No, actually, I was talking about the band Architects. That video is for the third track off of their newest album. What's the first single, third track on it, called Black Hole. I don't know what it is about them. I'm kind of digging this new. It's like a new metal. It's like new metal for fucking 2025. It's like, it's weird. It's got this weird electronic aesthetic almost over the top of everything, but like it's pretty hardcore.
I do like this music video. It's very
Yeah, the
Yeah, it
video
is
is
a cool-
super cool.
cool. Like that's a lot of good CGI work.
Yeah.
Kind of oil rig and a hurricane kind of thing.
Get sucked into a black hole.
It's men doing men things, Ashtray.
Man thinks, yes. Right. I'll try to understand it one day.
But yeah, anyway, check it out. If you like this type of music, you probably like it.
Word.
Word. Moving on to Teddy. Big old fan of
word.
nothing.
Oh, I thought I put it in there. Sorry, shit. I must not have updated it. So I've been fucking around with modding my switches and stuff. I've been breaking them. First, I was breaking them because I didn't know what I was doing, and I've learned now. So I've fixed them both. I've broken them. I've fixed them. I'm
How'd you
enjoying
break
it,
'em?
doing it. Well, it's got a legal side and illegal side we put games on. And
Oh,
I
jailbreak. Okay.
yeah, jailbreaking them. So just messing around with them like that. Fixed both of them. They're doing great. Can't wait for the new one to come out so I can steal all the shit from it because Nintendo is going fucking crazy.
Oh yeah,
with
that's
the new I
yeah.
mean, it's fucking insane. Like the new Mario game is gonna be. They're set. I don't know if y'all heard this, but they're setting a precedent. Games have been 70. Games been going up. They've been $70 for a couple years. Nintendo is now saying the Mario game that's coming out with it is gonna the Switch is gonna be $49.99. The Mario game's gonna be $80. But you can get if you pay $500, you get the Switch bundle with Mario Kart. So I mean, which
Yeah.
save you essentially $bucks. But they're I mean the way they're talking
Yeah.
is
Although I'll say
mean-
$500 compared to how much a fucking top of the line smartphone costs, not too bad.
I mean, yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm gonna get a couple of Switches. One to keep in the box, because I cannot wait to steal from these fuckers.
So
I mean,
aren't
One
the
to keep in the
physical
box?
games? Aren't they even supposed to be $90 for like the physical cartridges?
Yeah. So the physical, $80 is for just the digital copy. If you want the physical copy, it's gonna be $90.
$90 for a
Jesus.
fucking normal.
So now,
video
if you only
game.
have the digital copy, do you have to have an internet connection to open the game and play it?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
but
I was gonna say, can you have it still like natively downloaded if you're out in the fucking woods? Isn't that the point?
The reason Nintendo was doing this is because the Switch has been so pirated and so
Yeah,
got two of 'em.
because of assholes like you.
Yeah.
Way to go, Teddy.
Way to go,
mean,
Teddy.
I've been doing it on my system for years. Okay, and if
know what?
Nintendo would. I'm
At
sorry,
the
what?
same time, though, fuck Nintendo. They're
Right.
worth fucking hundreds of millions of dollars. They're making plenty of money. Fuck them.
Right. I
Right.
mean, there's no reason to
Well,
for a Nintendo game to be $80.
it's kind of like a battle against hackers in a way, you know. And
Oh right. I mean, it is a battle against hackers. They've been shutting down all. They've been shutting down all.
why
of-
didn't these Zizian
all-
cult fucking trans nerds
Yeah.
put their
What-
mental efforts into jailbreaking Switches and other video games?
But haven't they found like with like movies and stuff that people that are like torrenting movies actually buy more movies than people that don't?
Yeah, because if you like it, you're gonna buy it. Probably.
I'm sure that said some fucking movie review nerd who torrents all this.
Oh,
Right?
it's with Napster shit too. Like everyone was like, "Oh, they're losing all this money from pirating," but in the long run, those people actually bought them because the shit you're pirating is shit quality. So they
Yeah, well,
buying the fucking actual CDs.
that definitely was the case back in the day as far as the quality was shit.
Quality of the music.
But nowadays, man, I wouldn't be
But now you can
surprised.
just
if you
buy a
could-
song for $2
Yeah.
or whatever. You know what I mean? You don't even have to buy the whole album.
Yeah. Last thing too, like I could say I myself am one of those like old men where I'm like, where do the kids pirate things? I don't pirate anything anymore. I just
don't
buy
either.
it because I want it to work and I want it in high quality and I want it
Absolutely.
now.
Absolutely,
Right.
that's the perfect
Yeah,
way to.
good job.
I'm too old and I make too much money to fuck around with that bullshit now.
Mm-hmm.
But like,
I can afford
yeah.
to pay fucking $8 or whatever it is, and fucking just.
But this is like if a music CD suddenly costs $30 a pop, right? Like
sure.
$30 for an album. It's like, do you even want to, for the Switch 2, for instance, I'm not gonna spend $90 on a fucking video game. Like,
Right.
period.
Yeah.
Is it?
Hatchet.
It's increased. The graphic capability is increased, right? And the size of the hard drive and shit. Is the video screen? I didn't see
The screen is bigger. I think it goes to the screen is bigger. It's going to be 1080p. It's going to be 4K units docked. I mean,
I did see
well,
that the controllers were pretty cool. Like they were fucking use them like as mouse pads.
Yeah,
or
one
as-
they use it mouse now. So they're and the reason they say they did that is because now FPSs on the Switch would be as accurate as PC because you can use your stick as a mouse to aim like that and stuff.
Oh, wow.
But it's good. They're doing a lot of great things. My
Sweet.
thing is, like for instance, like they say it's gonna be backwards compatible, but you're gonna have to buy the license to be back with the
Oh, come on, man.
Wait, what?
the
You have to pay
fuck?
extra to use your old
Yeah,
Switch games
right.
on the
So
new
that's
one?
Oh,
this is what I'm
Dude.
so yeah.
Christ.
Not only,
Nintendo.
I mean, I
Close.
got a case of like 200 games. Like
I'm
what?
glad
Right.
I didn't buy one. Remember, I was gonna buy one for the Metroid game. It would just be sitting there collecting dust.
Dude, I'll sell you one of mine.
Oh, I thought you were gonna give me one.
I'm not gonna give out.
Remember, I had that What's Sexy? Or like Teddy's sending me his Switch because the new one's coming out.
Not happening.
All
I
right.
do. For that,
I don't know if you see my game. Where are my consoles? I don't know if you see my consoles there, but I got a problem. Okay, got a
We
problem.
know.
Expensive problem, and I don't want to pay $90 for games. So
I got
I'm
an
gonna buy-
expensive problem. I don't want to pay that money, but you have been.
yeah.
Anyways, I would love to have a tally of the money I've saved by kind of like giving up video games. But
Yeah,
nonetheless,
what you saved on video games, you spent on hookers and cocaine. So don't act like it's no. It's
well,
transferred
cocaine, but
somewhere.
not hookers.
Don't act like it's fucking. I'm the only motherfucker spending money.
You don't buy no.
Yeah, right. No, they come to me for free. Still full of problems, which has its own costs. Anyways, moving on to ashtrays. What's sexy? A trans role. Since we're on the topic of trans, a trans role that's not fucking blatant. Have you guys seen the movie Little Evil? It's been out for a while, actually,
No.
on Netflix.
Never even heard of it.
Roll that beautiful beam footage. It's got that dude. What is it? Adam Scott, which I never remember his name, but he's the lead in that Severance series that's like all the rage right now. Anyways, it's kind of a parody on The Omen, where he is a stepdad and his stepson like literally looks like, you see the trailer, like a little mini Angus Young, like from fucking AC/DC, that doesn't say a word, and yet like he got called to pick his son up because there was a disturbance. He told his teacher to go to hell, and then his teacher poured lye in her face and jumped out a third-story window and was impaled on a fence. Like his kid, his stepson, is the Antichrist. It's a decent, fun horror comedy, but what actually I really liked about it was the fact that there's this character named Al. That, like, as you're watching it, it's like that's a woman. And it's like, well, is that supposed to be a trans woman? Like, that definitely is a woman, but a woman playing a male character. And it's like, yeah, it's a trans male who's part of, like, there's this support group of stepdads, and Al is kind of like there's Al, I don't know if you see, there was but is kind of the over the top male character, but there is no like, oh, you're trans, or like they don't even address the trans issue. You even meet Al's wife throughout the movie. But it's also like through the voice and everything, it's like, okay, Al is a trans dad, and they leave it at that. So if you're looking for a fun horror comedy, check out Little Evil. The way it's like, you don't have to beat me over the head with the fact that, oh, it's a trans dad.
Sounds like you kind of are though.
I am right now beating you guys over the head with it.
I mean,
So you're like, I'm gonna beat somebody else over the head with it.
Yeah, right?
Hey man, they're people too.
They are.
I mean,
Right?
now,
And exactly. They should be able to have roles where they don't have to explain themselves in the movie. My point. All right,
Yeah.
moving on back to the fucking video games. What did you think? $90 games.
Yeah,
Oracle.
I mean, we already kind of touched on this, but when I saw that, I'm just like, what the fuck? And I'm sure that's a prelude to many fun things to come here. We'll see. I don't know, with all the fucking tariffs and shit, we'll see what happens. But it's not like, the manufacturing in the US, it's not like that's going to just you flip a switch and now suddenly everybody can manufacture fucking chips and everything in the US. So shit's going to get expensive. But
I mean, they're rumoring that the GTA game, GTA 6 game, the base is going to be over $100.
that's fucking insanity, dude. Like,
but it is insanity. But I can
That's
see it
a
more.
big ass game though.
It
But
is,
but I
but
can
fuck,
It is a big
man.
ass game.
for GTA 6.
You know
they
what?
did
You could
for
just not
Nintendo
play
game.
it.
Right.
Oh well.
That's true. I don't
I don't play any of
buy
that shit anymore.
I don't buy games anymore. I get Humble Bundle, which costs me $12 a month to get 6 games on PC, and I get shit from the library for the consoles.
Yeah.
Like I can't with the way that I engage with them, I don't sit down and play through a game anymore. It's enough for me to just kind of try something and be like, "Oh, this is cool, awesome," and then I put it down.
Yeah.
But
You gotta
like
go fucking
$100
take care of
bucks,
potato.
Jesus fucking Christ! Like I think,
Yeah, that's insane.
yeah, I mean, for a game like GTA, the GTA 6, if that was $60, maybe I would consider buying that. But if it's $100, like not even a possibility. Like it just completely it doesn't equate for me like the
I don't know.
value.
I think I'd play it enough to be worth $100.
Yeah, it'd be worth 100. Yeah,
Well,
but again, it's a stronger
I
console.
don't love my family like you do, so
yeah. And even like I don't play games really at all anymore, but at the same time, when you really think of like hours sunk in for the cost of a video game compared to like, well, I'll pay $5 to rent this hour and a half long movie on Prime or whatever.
Mhm.
You know, sometimes you get a lot of bang for your buck, even if it is a pricey game.
Yeah.
But when you're wanting to play every game,
It's
then
insane.
yeah, it gets ridiculous because
See,
there
and-
are a lot of games coming out all the time.
Yeah, like when Oracle said, like at $60, I'd pretty much buy any game. At $70, I kind of like stalled out and started picking and choosing.
Right.
But like for 80 to 100, I would really have to pick and choose. And
Yeah.
what I've been doing now is going back through my extensive fucking catalogs of games, especially on like Xbox One and X and stuff, and PS5, and playing the ones that I hadn't finished because I beat Titanfall 2 like for the first time, like I think last week.
Hmm.
That game's like, oh, like I then after that I tried to play online. That game's so old, nobody's online anymore.
Right? Yeah, there's no one to play against.
Because I don't again with all these games coming out, I don't want to keep buying games and not finishing them. So
Right.
especially with our short.
Gonna have to go
Yeah,
back to
there's
the
a
old hoop and stick.
The thing I was thinking about would are they gonna, because you're talking about like Titanfall 2, which was very acclaimed,
Oh yeah. Amazing.
but it's just old enough no one's playing it online anymore. Do you think they could fill that gap in with AI?
What do you mean?
Well, so there's always been bots, right? Like you can do
Oh, I see what
bots
you're
to play
saying.
characters against, but like, do you think AI could maybe play well enough and have like a fake chat that you feel like you're playing it online like it was in the heyday?
you'd always know.
Yeah, probably. Right? Like they would just say the wrong racial slur.
You would say the wrong thing at the just one thing. Like you'd be talking, having
Right.
a nice conversation about Titanfall.
Yeah. Suck my twat, you bean dipper. Something like that. It's like, what? That isn't
You
That's-
bean dipper.
not an insult.
Uh,
Sounds like some Zizian
Lip-
fucking
liquor.
shit.
Yeah, fucking Zizians would do that. All right. Moving along. Mystic, cheap ass mofos.
so in the news business on political Tuesdays, on election days, the station always buys food for people because everyone works fucking 12, 15 hours, right? Because of all the bullshit you have to deal with. Well, they didn't this time. And one of our reporters just bought almost $200 worth of pizza for the whole newsroom. Yeah, and like, dude, people are like the news director didn't say a word about it. Like, people are like, "What the fuck's going on? You guys really can't afford $200?"
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
right, like
Yeah.
the reporter felt bad. That was like, well, let's do something.
Yeah, that's what he did. He felt bad, and he fucking
Yeah. Good on him. I'll
Yeah,
watch his
he's a
report.
great dude. He's literally one of the best dudes I've ever met in my life. Like, he's probably got like hookers tied up in his basement or something weird. But
Hey,
Right,
buddy
like
buys
so good where you're
$200
like,
worth of
damn,
pizza.
you can't be this good. You've
Right.
got to have a dark side.
exactly. Like he's a great reporter. I've seen him change light bulbs in the station and shit.
Goes out of his
Oh,
way a little too
yeah,
much.
he does
Yeah,
everything
changing
else.
light bulbs. This dude's
hiding
definitely
something.
yeah, he's hiding something. He's got to
Right?
be.
It's probably hookers up in the attic of the newsroom.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah. Oh, looks like light bulbs out.
Nope,
And actually,
I'll-
the hookers are like
I'll
banging
change
on
that
the
air filter,
fucking.
don't
like,
worry about it.
Let us out! Let us out! Oh, I'm gonna fucking kill you if you
Yes.
don't shut the fuck up.
This just in, I'm killing bitches.
Yeah, who's up for some pizza?
Right?
Oh yeah. Anyway, but it's just come on, guys. I mean, I know we're in last place, but you can't be fucking making that little money. You know,
Yeah.
kind of makes me worry for my job. Like, probably one of the first to go. You can get AI to do my shit.
Yeah, right. But AI will never have your sass.
Nope. Sure
All right,
will.
moving on
Yeah.
to Teddy.
Give it time.
Juju. There's a Guju. What is it?
Juju curry sucking motherfucker.
Guju scammer motherfuckers.
So there's an app that Royal Caribbean uses that me and my wife we log on. My son gets on. You do the safety briefings and stuff. You do all your health stuff before you get on the cruise. You can look at excursions. You know, you can see what's going on for the day. You can plan out your day and your trip. My wife couldn't get on it for some reason. It's the first time we've had this problem. So I called Royal Caribbean a few times. I called Royal Caribbean, and they said it was fixed. It wasn't fixed. And for some reason, I was super high one day. I was doing like 2 or 3 things. It was some work shit. I typed in. I just Googled fucking customer support, Royal Caribbean. There's always that big number that pops up. And so I just, it looked similar. So I tapped it. It's got Royal Caribbean over it. So I tapped it. When I redid it after it said sponsored by Royal. It said sponsored by some other company, whatever, Royal Caribbean. I wasn't paying attention. It went through. The lady got on the phone. It was like, hey, reservations. And I was like, hey, I got a reservation, blah, blah, blah. And what I did, I was again super high. I didn't realize I hadn't pressed any numbers. Nothing else ever came on. Where do you want to go? It just popped up reservations. So I'm talking to this chick, and it was, and after like, and she's telling me that I'm like, my wife can't get on the app, and her reason is that we haven't paid our docking fee, our boat fee, and our gratuities. And I was like, well, the docking your boat is included in what I paid already because I'm already paid in full. And the gratuities you can pay before, but you generally pay them after your cruise. But you can pay before for a discount. And I'm like, so I've never heard this before. I've cruised with you all a lot. And after a while, I'm like, whoa, bitch. She knocks off another thing, but I only owe $360. And I'm like, okay, so when does that has to be paid? And she's like, well, it has to be paid now or you lose your cruise.
What?
And I was like, what? I was like, no, the pay,
Yeah,
I paid this shit off a while ago. You're gonna tell me I'm gonna lose my cruise is $3,500. You're gonna tell me I'm gonna do $3,500 because I didn't want to pay $360. I was like, what? Give me a second here. I was like, and I looked at my shit. I was like, okay, I was like, give me a second. So I hung up, fucking called Royal Caribbean, fixed my shit in like 5 minutes. Called them back. I was like, hey, yeah, so yeah, my reservation, it wasn't working out. It's still not going on. So where do I send this money to? And I started having fun with these guys. I was like, well, I can't really understand you. Can you speak English? We're in America, right? I mean, you're in America. I said, I got real racist. I got real high. And I started having
Real racist.
real racist.
You got racist first, then high.
Can you give me a quick peek at my salad recipe? My wife loves it. I was just fucking around for 45 minutes while I was doing dishes. And it's Sonny, is this a game to you? It is a game when you're fucking scammers, man. When you just trying to take people's money, like yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You fucking
And then,
scammers.
and then they get pissed that you like wasted their time.
What's that term they call it now? It's pig something.
Oh,
Is it
pig slaughtering or pig,
pig
butchering.
slaughtering.
Pig
Pig butchering, yeah. Did you do that as a topic or
No.
maybe it was like
I've never heard it. That's what is it?
I think maybe it was a John Oliver episode recently, but it is all about that like long-term scam game where they like
Yeah.
befriend you and
romance
get your shit.
scams.
I set that road to joint said they just fuck with no damn. So yeah, so I pay all this money, but I don't want to lose my can I get my refund?
I saw this woman do it. She was like, they were like, oh, the guy was fucking. He's like, you owe all this money. I'm with the police department, and we got a warrant out for your arrest. You owe $2,500 or whatever. She's like, oh, I can pay that right now. And he's like, all right, well, what's the credit card number? And she goes, okay, it's 3, 2, 1, and I'm here live with blah blah blah. And she like makes it like she's fucking on the like a reporter and shit, and like just click, like hangs up right away. It's fucking great, dude.
There's a few guys on YouTube that have channels where they're hackers, and they'll call back little things.
Yeah.
And they'll go into their computer and they just empty all their shit out, give money back to people and shit. It's pretty funny.
The one where they make the real names of the people that work at the call
appear on the camera. Yeah. And they start freaking out like, oh yeah, bitch, we got you.
Yeah, or the few guys who've like reverse hacked into those scamming centers.
Yeah. I mean, they get what they deserve.
Okay, and moving on to me, Ashtray. Fuck, what you think is myself, Ashtray, for picking such a goddamn long, convoluted topic. But
that's what you do.
I hope you all appreciated just how convoluted, especially with like the fake death and shit, that story was.
Yeah, that was
panning out. Like that's the thing. Once you start digging into it, I'm like, damn, this is a weird fucking story. And of course, I always love a good chance to fucking rip on vegan trans rationalists.
Ever since that vegan trans broke your heart, you won't let it go.
I know.
Right?
So, in all seriousness, go fuck yourself, Burt Bacharach. That's our show. We're going to be here every Thursday night. The old revered piano player. We'll be here every Thursday night, 10 p.m. Central. Whatever did to me, never paid my fucking phone bill. You can join the conversation at thereddreport.com or facebook.com/reddreport. Don't even X us or twiddle us, but like us, share us, and fuck us. We're down for whatever. I'm the Ashtray.
I'm Oracle.
I missed it.
I'm Teddy, and I'm stealing games.
Oh, and this is the Red Eye Report.
I'm on the Switch store right now.
I'm on